Ah, the dream of being a titan of industry, to build an empire from scratch, to see your name in lights, or at least on a very impressive office door. It's a common aspiration, isn't it? To be the master of your own destiny, captain of your own ship, the big cheese. But like a particularly fiendish cheese soufflé, success in business requires the right ingredients and a light touch. This isn't about get-rich-quick schemes, mind you. Those are about as reliable as a chocolate teapot in a sauna. Think of this essay as your trusty guide through the jungle of business, a machete to hack through the undergrowth of doubt and emerge triumphant into the sun-dappled clearing of prosperity. So put on your metaphorical pith helmets, dear readers, and let's embark on this adventure together. Just remember to pack your sense of humor. It's essential equipment for any aspiring entrepreneur. Now on to the first and most crucial ingredient, the entrepreneurial mindset. One might assume that a successful business person is simply someone who wears a very expensive suit and barks orders into a telephone that costs more than a small car. While a sharp suit can certainly lend an air of authority, and good grief, who doesn't love a good gadget? True success requires something far more substantial, the right mindset. Imagine, if you will, a tree, not just any tree, mind you, but a mighty oak, its roots deep in the earth, its branches reaching for the sky. That, my friends, is the entrepreneurial spirit. It requires a deep well of resilience, the ability to weather storms, both literal and metaphorical, and a healthy dose of adaptability to bend with the winds of change. But it's not all about being stoic and unyielding like that aforementioned oak. A good entrepreneur also needs a generous helping of creativity, a dash of daring, and a pinch of good old-fashioned cunning. Cultivate these qualities, dear reader, and you'll be well on your way to building your own mighty oak of success. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, or rather the pounds, dollars, and euros in your, hopefully soon-to-be, overflowing coffers. Generating revenue, the lifeblood of any business, is a bit like trying to herd cats. It requires strategy, agility, and perhaps a laser pointer or two. First and foremost, banish from your mind any notion of easy money. Building a successful business requires offering a product or service that people actually want or need. Identifying a genuine need, a gap in the market, or a product so brilliant it'll make people wonder how they ever lived without it. That's where the real magic happens. Once you've got your offering, it's all about getting it in front of the right eyeballs, be it through the wizardry of digital marketing, the charm of traditional advertising, or, dare I say, the sheer audacity of good old-fashioned word of mouth. Remember, dear reader, generating revenue is not about chasing pound signs, but about providing value. Do that, and the rest will follow, I assure you. Now that you've got your product or service and a steady stream of revenue flowing in, it's time to talk about the art of the deal. This isn't about being ruthlessly cutthroat, mind you. No, this is about negotiation, about finding that sweet spot where both parties feel like they've walked away with a prize. Think of it as a delicately choreographed waltz, not a rugby scrum. Preparation, my dear Watson, is key. Know your worth, know your market, and crucially, know your counterpart. Be clear about your objectives, but be flexible in your approach. Now listen more than you speak, a good rule for life, really, and don't be afraid to walk away if the deal isn't right. Remember, a good deal is one that benefits everyone involved. Section 5. The Tortoise and the Hare Business Lessons from Aesop. Remember that old fable about the tortoise and the hare? The hare, all speed and arrogance, loses the race to the slow and steady tortoise. It's a tale as old as time, and yet it holds a valuable lesson for the aspiring entrepreneur. Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say, and neither is a successful business. The allure of overnight success is tempting, like a siren song promising instant gratification. But true, lasting success is built on a foundation of hard work, dedication, and a healthy dose of patience. It's about putting in the hours, honing your craft, and yes, occasionally encountering setbacks. Because let's face it, even the most carefully laid plans can go awry. But here's the thing about setbacks. They're not failures, they're opportunities to learn, to adapt, and to come back stronger. So embrace the long game, dear reader. Be the tortoise, not the hare, and enjoy the journey as much as the destination. Section 6. Weathering the storm, resilience in the face of adversity. Speaking of storms, let's talk about resilience, shall we? Because let's face it, the business world can be as unpredictable as the British weather. One minute you're basking in the sunshine of a successful product launch. The next you're facing the headwinds of a global pandemic. Touch wood, we've learned our lesson there, haven't we? But here's the thing about resilience. It's not about being invincible. It's about knowing how to bend without breaking. It's about picking yourself up, dusting yourself off and saying, right, what did we learn from that and how can we do better next time? Resilience is about having a contingency plan or two or three. It's about being adaptable, and it's about surrounding yourself with a team you trust to weather the storms alongside you. Remember, dear reader, even the most experienced sailor encounters rough seas from time to time. Section 7, the importance of ethical conduct, building trust and sustainability. Now let's talk about something that's not just good for the soul, but good for business too, ethical conduct. In a world where cutthroat tactics and questionable practices sometimes seem to hold sway, conducting yourself with integrity might seem like a quaint notion, but I assure you, dear reader, it's not just the right thing to do, it's the smart thing to do. Building a business on a foundation of trust, transparency, and fairness is like investing in a rather excellent savings scheme. Customers are more likely to trust a business that aligns with their values, employees are more likely to be loyal to a company that treats them fairly, and investors are more likely to back a venture that prioritizes ethical practices. And Section 8, learning from the best, seeking mentorship and guidance. Even the most intrepid explorers rely on maps and compasses to guide them, wouldn't you say? The same principle applies to the world of business. Seeking guidance from those who've already traversed the treacherous peaks and valleys of entrepreneurship can be invaluable. A good mentor can offer insights, share experiences, both triumphant and cautionary, and provide that much-needed sounding board for your ideas. They can be a source of encouragement when the going gets tough, and it will, let's be honest, and a voice of reason when you're tempted by the siren song of a risky venture. Network, attend industry events, and don't be afraid to reach out to people you admire. The worst they can say is no, and you never know. You might just find yourself a Yoda to your Luke Skywalker. Section 9. The power of networking, building relationships for success. Speaking of networking, let's delve into the art of building relationships, shall we? Now, I'm not talking about awkwardly shoving business cards into people's hands at cocktail parties. No, this is about cultivating genuine connections, fostering mutually beneficial relationships, and, dare I say, having a bit of fun along the way. Attend industry events, join online forums, and don't underestimate the power of a good old-fashioned coffee date. Be curious, be engaged, and be genuinely interested in the people you meet. You never know where a conversation might lead, what opportunities might arise, or what friendships you might forge along the way. Remember, dear reader, business is not a solitary pursuit. Section 10. Staying ahead of the curve, adaptability in a changing world. If there's one constant in the world of business, it's change. Technology evolves at a dizzying pace. Consumer preferences shift like the desert sands, and the only certainty is uncertainty. Sounds daunting, doesn't it? Well, it doesn't have to be. The key, my dear reader, is adaptability. Think of yourself as a chameleon, blending seamlessly into the ever-changing landscape of the business world. Embrace new technologies, stay informed about industry trends, and be willing to pivot your strategies when necessary. The businesses that thrive are not those that resist change, but those that embrace it with open arms and perhaps a healthy dose of cautious optimism. After all, a ship that can't adjust its sails will never reach its destination. Section 11. A final word, embracing the journey. As we reach the end of our journey through the jungle of business, I want to leave you with this. Success is not a destination, but a journey. It's a winding path filled with its fair share of triumphs and tribulations, exhilarating highs, and, let's face it, the occasional faceplant into a metaphorical mud puddle. But it's in those moments of challenge, of uncertainty, of wanting to tear your hair out and scream into the void that you discover your true mettle. It's in those moments that you learn the most about yourself, about your business, and about the tenacity of the human spirit. So, dear reader, embrace the journey. Celebrate the victories, learn from the setbacks, and remember to enjoy the ride. Now go forth and conquer. Just remember to pack a sense of humor, a good pair of walking shoes, and perhaps a metaphorical compass.